Our temperature has been stuck at over 100 degrees for at least the past 4 weeks. Our grass is dying, the pond is drying up, and the chickens in the coop have stopped laying. Most of the animals are struggling to stay cool. It seems as if the only animals enjoying the heat are the indoor cats, who regularly spend the hottest parts of the afternoon snuggled up together in the stifling garage. Today on the Rural Companion, we are taking a walk through the heat-scorched garden. Stay tuned for my tips on surviving the extreme temps, or check the description box for timestamps. Hey friends, welcome back to the Rural Companion. I am Ashley. I am currently out in my garden. The temperature is 106 degrees and rising. We've been dealing with extreme temperatures for the past few weeks due to a heat dome that is hovering over much of the central portion of the United States. I know that we're not alone in these temperatures, so if you are dealing with the extreme heat right now, comment your location in the comment section below. I'd love to hear where you are located and what temperatures you're dealing with. It's kind of like a camaraderie or solidarity. It's hot here. What about you? While it is common to deal with extreme temperatures in Oklahoma, extreme weather in Oklahoma, our typical August average is around 94 degrees. So we are about 10-15 degrees hotter than normally this time of year. Not only are we dealing with these extreme heat temperatures, but we're also experiencing the drought that comes along with that. Actually, 80% of our state is dealing with drought conditions. Now, it ranges on a scale from D0 all the way up to 4. Our particular region just crossed into the D2 category. That means we are in the severe drought now. It's slowly crept closer and closer, and our county is finally there. Yay for us. Counties around us have been placed under water restrictions or burn bans, and I am pretty certain that our county will be following very soon if conditions persist. And the forecast is showing that they will continue to stay at least in the 100 or above range for the next several days. Okay, like I said, we are here in the garden because I wanted to show you exactly what is happening in my garden, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not really pretty. At this point, I've kind of given up maybe on the garden. Honestly, I should have started my garden earlier, and I think moving forward that's going to be my game plan so that when we get to this portion of August, I'm not trying to maintain what little growth I have to get that harvest in. Because I was teaching last school year, I didn't get much in my garden until the mid to late May timeframe. I didn't start seeds. I just kind of gave myself a pass this year, and I just bought plants, which means I was limited to what I could buy, mainly because of cost. Everything was really expensive to purchase. So that's why I've been trying to keep things alive, because I spent a lot of money on the plants, and honestly I really haven't harvested too much, and we're at that point with the drought and the extreme heat temperatures that nothing's really thriving anymore. So that's why we're here. Let's take a walk through the garden. I'm not going to be out here very long because everything is directly in the sun and it is hot. Right back here we have the elderberries. I harvested what I could I guess put up or preserve, and I've let the rest just die or dry on the vine. As you can tell, all of the green portion of the leaves, the branches, it is just all starting to die right now. Same with the peach. You can see that the peach leaves, they're already starting to die for the year. Okay, back in this bed over here, I have cucumbers and okra. The cucumbers, I have a batch that I planted early, and then I have a batch that I planted probably 2 or 3 weeks later. Both maybe the end of April, probably. And the first plant is not doing well. The second plant is actually doing okay. It's still alive, but I'm not getting any cucumbers as of right now. The okra, and this is probably the most shocking, okra is a heat-loving plant, and it's not loving it. It is actually struggling. All of the okra plants are struggling right now. They are not doing well. I have several large pods that I just haven't gotten around to harvesting, and I've left them on because every time I get out here, it's either in the heat of the day or I forget my garden basket. I'm really a little scattered lately. Okay, so as you can tell, my garden is really struggling. There's just no getting around it. The 100+ temps are not ideal for growing just about any crop that I have. Now, moving forward, again, I am planning for next year, thinking of how can I do this better, just in case we get these extreme temps. Again, this doesn't happen every year for this length of time. There's really no way of knowing if this is going to happen in the summer months. They did predict that the summer was going to be warmer and wetter than usual. We've had the warmer, we have not had the wetter. It has honestly been really dry. We had a really small rain on Sunday night, which actually cooled things off just a little bit. It was really nice. However, it was minimal amounts of rain, so small that it did not do anything. Now, my garden, I did water first thing this morning, and as you can tell, it's not good. If you are dealing with extreme temperatures, let me give you my survival tips. Now, I already shared with you, I watered my garden first thing this morning. That is something that you want to be doing. That is a best practice for your garden, is watering first thing in the morning. Now, of course, you can water in the evening, but you are trying to avoid watering in the middle part of the day or as soon as the sun touches the plants, basically. So from that window of once the sun rises to just about when it sets, you don't want to be watering during that time. My second tip is to harvest any crops, vegetables, herbs first thing in the morning. Now this one you do not want to wait till the evening. You want to get them before the sun hits the plants. This will maintain the best possible amount of nutrients from the plant that the sun will deplete throughout the day. This is the main reason why I have not harvested the okra. I've been running first thing in the morning, again, to avoid the heat. So I run for about 5 or so, depending on the day, more miles. Then I come home, I water quickly, and then it's time to get back into the house and do the things that I need to do there. So I have not been harvesting anything in the morning, which there are some things that really do need to be cared for. Again, I think I've kind of lost a little hope for my garden, and that's okay for right now. Tip number 3 is to mulch around the base of your plants. Now, I did this for my strawberries. They do have a nice layer of leaves, like dried leaves. The rest of the plants I have not mulched, and I really need to, but again, I just have not. We got back from our trip to Maryland and we were dealing with the extreme temperatures, so I did not have time to kind of prepare or get ready for these heat extremes. Number 4, if you are able to add shade, maybe shade cloth or plant your plants at the base of a tree in a shadier spot. I do need to show you my squash, the zucchini squash that I have that's actually planted in the shade specifically for this reason, and they are doing probably the best out of everything that I have in my garden right now. Tip number 5 is to buy plants that are specific for extreme heat temperatures. Again, this year I did not do that, mainly because I just purchased established plants to put into my garden beds. Moving forward, I do plan on researching the best varieties of tomatoes, peppers, okra, cucumbers, all of the staples that we plant. I'm going to make sure that they are a heat tolerant variety. And my final tip is to avoid being in your garden doing the work of gardening during the hottest part of the day. Now I'm kind of going against that for this video. I am out here. It is 1:30. This was just the time that I had to make the video, so it is extremely hot. I also wanted you to see my garden while it's suffering in the heat. However, if you have any heavy labor or garden work that needs to be done, make sure you are not doing that during the hottest parts of the day, typically 10 to 2. If you can completely avoid doing any heavy garden work during the extreme heat, hold on to it. Maybe it can wait for a couple weeks. In our case, the forecasts keep saying one more week, and it has actually been several more weeks. So when I look at the 10-day forecast, day 9 or 10 starts looking like it's under 100. But again, everything can change once we get closer to it. Okay, I am sweating. I really need to get into the house and cool down. Thank you so much for joining me up here in my garden in the extreme heat. Stay safe, stay cool. And again, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button to show me some love. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below telling me where you're located, what kind of extreme summer temps you might be dealing with, and be sure to check back next week for another video right here on The Rural Companion. Goodbye.